Hello, everybody. Welcome to Orange Juice, news and notes from around the world of insoles. I am your host, Owen Kenoy, and back with us, co-hosting, is my wonderful sister, Mallory. Hey, Mal.
Hi, good morning.
Summertime is here. Mallory is enjoying summer in the city, Chicago. I am enjoying summer here in West Michigan. If you guys are frequent followers of the show, you would know that. Um, Quick little sidebar before we get into our topic today. I just saw this funny trend on social media, Mallory, not to put you on blast, but I'll put Chicago on blast a little bit. It was like someone posted and it was a picture of the like pier in Chicago, or just like kind of like the concrete or whatever. And I'm doing a terrible job of explaining this, but
Concrete Beach.
the concrete beach, and yeah, they're like, hey, love always being able to go to the beach in Chicago, and then it's just a picture of just like a concrete slab. I just thought of that because you might have been at the beach this weekend. I might have been at the beach this weekend. Just two very different beaches. It's hilarious.
To be fair, there is usually grass behind the concrete, but we want to get a little closer to the water. And there are normal sand beaches too, but
That's the
anything else?
famous one, huh?
Yeah. Also, it's early recording session for us here at Orange Juice, so apologies, but I am still in bed because I didn't have the heart to kick out Miss Holly here, the puppy. And then I got Lana the cat behind me too, so it's me and the girls this morning.
You're doing great. Early bird gets the worm. That's why we are kicking off our topic first thing today. And we do all sorts of different things, health and wellness, and nutrition obviously is something we've hit on lately, and even just like different workout routines and mindsets. But we figured let's just pause and talk about the shoes that we wear and our customers wear, and just how Orange Insoles work with them. If you are someone who maybe isn't overly familiar with our brand, or is familiar and is just looking for new ways to use our insoles, this episode would be for you. I'm sure you're going to get all sorts of ideas like, hey, I never thought about using this insole in that shoe or whatever it may be. So that's what this episode is for. Why does that matter? At the end of the day, you are going to feel a lot more comfortable if you're making smart choices as far as the shoes you're putting on your feet, the insoles you're adding to those shoes. So we want you to feel better and do more. It's our slogan. We really mean that. So we figured, hey, let's bring you this episode to kind of give you some tips and tricks to just put the best things on your feet.
Yeah, sometimes it's good to get back to basics, and even lately I've been kind of giving some insoles to some of my coworkers at the store, and I've had to be re-educating them on like, okay, so what shoes are you wearing here, and like going through the process that we'll probably talk about the lining and all. There's a lot to consider when picking the right one, so I give them the insole that actually works with what they're wearing.
Awesome. A lot to consider, but we're here to make it simple for you. Just at a high level, we have 4 different types of insoles: the Orange Full, the Orange Sport, the Orange 3/4, and the Orange Light. They are all great in many different types of shoes, and they are all versatile. But again, we're just going to talk about, some of the shoes, even the brands that we like, and again, the insoles that we put into those brands. It doesn't make that the only solution, but maybe just a starting point for you in your unique foot. So, with that said, we're going to kick off the first category, which is running shoes. Obviously used for running, also walking, but the ever-growing category of like work or just comfort shoe. Running shoes are a really big deal for that. So Tom and Marsha, the owners of Orange Insoles, and our parents own a running store. Well, it's a broader shoe store, but most of the shoes are running shoes. And they do get a lot of runners in the store, but they also get people that their feet just hurt. They might be working for long periods of time, whatever it may be. And if they don't have strict policies on the types of footwear they have, a lot of the times they go straight to running shoes as just like a complete comfort option. So with that said, a few of the best selling brands at Playmakers, the store, but also nationwide, and some that we've had really good experiences with. First off is Brooks. Second is Hoka. Third, Asics. Fourth, we'll do a shout out to New Balance. Those are just kind of like some of the bigger brands that, again, the store carries. There are quite a few other brands as well, and they all kind of offer like their own niche, if you will, in what they're known for, in that sort of thing. So the best way to know kind of what brand might be good for you, really, is to head into a running store, a running shoe store, and just try some on. You're never gonna know. You can do all this research and just kind of see like, hey, I think this is the one for me. And then you order them online, you put them on your foot, and you're like, oh, I didn't realize, they run a little more narrow and my foot's a little more wide, and the whole thing's shot. So do yourself a favor, head into the running store, and just try some stuff on and see what you like. Mallory, do you have a brand that you're gravitating towards, or even like kind of like a personal setup that you're using right now?
Yeah, so for actual running, when I go through those phases, I use Hoka's. I think I'm in the Bondi, if I am not mistaken. And for my everyday walking shoe, because I do walk a lot around the city, I do use New Balance. I don't know what the actual name is. I'm actually sure you will know from your days at Playmakers, but it's like the patent leather, literal New Balance walkers, like the old people
Uh
shoe.
huh. You know,
And yeah, do you know
it
what
has.
that's
I was just
called?
gonna say it has actually been 8 years since I've worked at Playmakers now. So the numbers, I think it's like the New Balance, the 928 or something like that. But the numbers are getting away from me. The models.
Yeah.
Maybe I should do a little stint there, like help out or just get a crash course.
Yeah, but I wear those New Balances like every day, and I used to wear the full lengths in it, but once we launched the sport, I kind of switched over to that, mostly because I just like I power walk. I'm doing like 15 to 16-minute miles walking through the city, with like stops and stuff, so I go pretty fast, and I kind of like the energy return on the Orange Sport more. But I think over time though, the full length and sport have been
Good to know. And with running shoes, they do have a great amount of support and comfort built into them. But with running shoes, and really all the shoes we're going to talk about, they don't necessarily have, or they don't have specialized arch support or like targeted arch support. Or in our case with Orange Insoles, they even have a deep heel cup, so extra heel support as well. So if you are someone who maybe overpronates or has alignment issues, or if you're just running a lot of miles or working all day, that's putting a lot of stress on your body, and having the insoles there to rely on really is going to help you, like I said earlier, feel better and do more. So with running shoes, now you're like, okay, what insoles do I put in my running shoes? Mallory mentioned the Orange Sport. With running shoes, usually we look at uh, are full length insoles. Reason being is they have a removable liner. So that would be either the original Orange full length, our best seller, or the Orange Sport insole. The original full length, maybe you would choose that for your running shoes if you're going to be walking, standing, working in them, or if you are ramping up your mileage and need extra support, or even dealing with a specific injury. The Orange Sport insoles are going to be better for your running shoes if they are specifically narrow fitting, or if you are someone who's focused on performance, and it might just be a better option again for someone who is trying to ramp up their mileage and do some of those longer distances and whatnot. So those are kind of the two we recommend. Obviously, you can use the others, the 3/4 and the light. There's not a wrong answer, but those are usually the ones that work best with running shoes.
Yeah, I feel like for me too, like my New Balances feel really great out of the box, but once I start to break them in and they therefore start to break down, like I really need that. Like any illusion of support is kind of gone, and I definitely need that insole. But next up is our work boot category. A couple of the brands that we hear about a lot, mostly from you guys, is like Red Wing, Keen Utility, Timberland Pro, Wolverine, as some of the top kind of brands. And these shoes, like what makes a work boot, they're really built. See, the girls are going at it back there now. The what really makes a work boot is they're really designed for like standing all day. Usually on these kinds of construction jobs, factory jobs, that kind of thing, you are not getting breaks. You're not sitting down. A little different from a desk job. You're also working on like concrete floors or like hard dirt outside. Not the most forgiving kind of places. Also, these shoes are pretty heavy, which can cause some more fatigue, but they're also designed for safety. Those, what is it, like the steel toe boots? You don't
Yep,
want to drop like a giant anvil or something on your toe. So
of
there
course.
is purpose to this. They're, really designed for safety. But with that being said, again, like it can just cause a lot more fatigue throughout the day because you're, hauling around this heavy boot with you. And again, just all the other factors that come with, doing a little bit more of that physical labor that comes with some of these work jobs and being on not the best environment, like some rough floors. So that's why it's important to have boots and insoles.
100%. For the safety boots, if you are carrying your anvil around the work site and working very hard as you do, um, you would probably want some insoles in your shoes because, again, like Mallory said, your feet are going to get tired throughout the day. The muscles in your feet aren't going to be able to work at the same level they were hour one in hour eight. So adding that insole just helps support them and keep your body in alignment, thus alleviating foot pain, but also knee, hip, and back pain as well. Uh, Basically, the key for the work boots is to see if they have a removable liner. This seems to be very hit or miss for work boots. Some do, and some are actually just like sewn, glued, or taped, probably sewn or glued to the bottom of the shoe. So if you do have a removable liner, we recommend the Orange full length insole just to replace that for maximum support. It has the deep heel cup and targeted arch support. If you don't have a removable liner, we recommend the Orange 3/4 length insole. That has all of the same support as the full length insole, but is going to accommodate the forefoot and not make it too crowded, given that you aren't able to remove again that liner that is existing in there. Like Mallory said, we've heard from so many people about how they they love really our insoles in their work boots. Can't go without them throughout the day. Whether it is Red Wing, like the Keen Utility line, Timberland, or whatever it may be. Uh, Pivoting from the work boots, excuse me, everyday sneakers. So this is also another super popular one. I feel like especially if you're just talking to like younger people, you're like, hey, like what do you put on your feet, or what are you wearing on a day-to-day basis? These are like the maybe like the leather Nikes or like the casual style Adidas, New Balances, even like your Vans, your Converse, anything that's kind of more stylish or like even like a canvas type footwear. Um, I really hate to generalize, but I'm going to generalize on this one. Uh, Vast majority of those are not very supportive at all. They aren't actually focused on fit either. They really are more of like a style shoe. That is their purpose. So the company isn't going to be dedicating their resources again to like, hey, this is a comfort thing or a support feature. They're just focusing on what looks good. There are a few brands that Playmakers carries, for example, that I like. They're not going to be as stylish, so to speak. But Olukai is one. It's actually like a Hawaiian inspired brand, Olukai. And then Kizik is another one. I have wider feet, and they're usually generally a little bit wider in the forefoot and just more accommodating. But then also all their shoes are just slip on, so you can like really pound down on the heel and like your foot will just slip right in. So if you're lazy about tying your shoes, hate kind of bending over or pulling on, Kiziks are great. But like I mentioned, they all kind of have their shortcomings when it comes to support. So that's where the Orange Insoles are a great option. Mallory, for you, I know you wear some of this stuff sometimes. Is there an insole you prefer in your casual shoes or everyday sneakers?
Yeah, so I wear a lot of like mine are like the Adidas Gazelle, but I think that might be like the men's version because I have big feet. But it's like the really low profile, colorful Adidas. I see them all the
Hmm.
time in the store. A lot of people I work with wear them in the store because like we want to wear a tennis shoe, but we're supposed to also look cute, so it's part of it. Um, it's funny when you're talking about narrow because a lot of these shoes, especially those Adidas, are so narrow. I'm like busting out the sides of them, but I still wear them. But because they're so low profile and kind of tight already around my foot, I prefer the light in a lot of these. Just again, because like you're saying, they're built for style. They're not really thought through how your foot's gonna fit in them. So I just find as someone with like a bigger foot, like a lot of them are just so tight already. So yeah, the light definitely works the best for me, at least. But if you can take a little more support in your shoe, 3/4 is definitely a better option if it doesn't have that removable lining. And like I think Owen said, like most of these don't. So yeah, 3/4 or light, I think would be your best bet. If you could really fit a full length in there, good for you. That'd be
Yeah, and this is
crazy.
where, so pretty much it's safe to assume that these ones don't have the removable liner. And even if they do, I don't know that it'd be wise to replace it with our full length just because they are such like narrow fitting shoes. So for the everyday sneakers, we recommend the 3/4 insoles. What I would ask myself is like, hey, do I have some good room in here or does it feel really tight? If you have some good room, try that orange 3/4, like Mallory said. It's going to be more supportive. If not, go ahead and go with the orange light. It's just a single layer of foam, so it's not as supportive of the orange 3/4, but it's still going to fit into those shoes that you may have a hard time again fitting those other insoles in. So some support is definitely better than no support.
Yeah, and a similar one that I see a lot in the store from customers and people I work with are just like kind of the casual. It's broad, but casual shoes, which are like I think for women more like those Mary Janes. I see these like Puma ballet slippers a ton. Um, some of the like jelly shoes, uh, that kind of style, like the ballet flats, Mary Janes. For men, I see like a lot of the loafers coming in. Boat shoes are always popular this time of year, those Sperry's. So just more of that style. Uh, those can be very uncomfortable and really don't offer, again, much support. They tend to be very thin profile. A lot, oh my gosh, warning too. My friend and I were out the other night and she had the new Puma like ballet flats. She had the worst blister in the world. A lot of those shoes, oh my gosh, they will give you horrible blisters. Like just some of the materials are not really like friendly for friction on your feet, especially sweaty feet because it's been 90 here. So yeah, it's just um, yeah, the fit isn't always great. There's sometimes like comfort in just throwing on these shoes and they feel comfortable at first, but if you're wearing them out all day, man, that lack of support will catch up to you too.
And that's where with the insoles, like when I'm trying to, if I'm talking to someone and they're like, I don't know if I need insoles, I've never really thought about it. One of the things I asked them was like, hey, are there points in your day or whatever where like your feet just hurt or your shoes don't really feel good or maybe your back is bothering you? If yes, then hey, maybe try an insole in those shoes and you'd be surprised how much better they'd feel. And this is the casual shoes that Mallory just hit on are a lot like the previous ones we talked about as well, where it's like, hey, if you feel like you actually have some good room in them, sure, try that 3/4 length insole with more support. But if it feels pretty tight, like a lot of the shoes, especially like the flats and that sort of thing, definitely just try the orange light and throw those in your shoes as well. Next is dress shoes. So dress shoes seem to be kind of like, you have an occasion or an event that you're wearing them to, high heels for women as well, or maybe you just have to wear them like for work and whatnot. So obviously, definitely just like fitting what you're wearing is the reason why you're wearing them in the first place, like the rest of your outfit. But as we all know, dress shoes usually fit pretty tight. They have limited room, little to no cushion. I don't have direct experience with high heels, but they also are very unpleasant for obvious reasons. So what you have to ask yourself is like, hey, am I just going to suffer through this? Or is there something I can do to make it just a little bit better? And that's where Orange Insoles comes in. So for these shoes, we definitely recommend the Orange Light. We just highlighted how a lot of them don't have proper space, but that's where the Orange Light comes in, just to give you at least some arch support. For me, when I got married, I actually gifted my groomsmen the Orange Light insoles so they could put them in their dress shoes. And we actually ended up changing into some Nike shoes later in the night too, just for fun, but they could put them in there as well. So we swear by insoles, especially for dress shoes and high heels. I know Marcia, who's also frequently on the podcast, will tell you that, especially for your high heels, they'll help extend the evening, hopefully at least get you to midnight. But again, there's only so much you can do with high heels and some of these dress shoes.
Yeah, my ultimate tip is a platform on your heel helps a ton. Because your angle, instead of like this, will be like this for the same amount of height. But if not, make sure you pack this next category, which is sandals. And some of the brands I remember back from Playmakers days and just that I've seen around, my favorite Birkenstocks. But we also sold UFOs, Chaco, Tevas, all good brands. I love Birkenstocks just to slip on around the house. And I like go down and take my laundry, go take out the trash in them. Specifically Birkenstocks have a lot of support in them compared to other sandals. Not all of these do. I remember a lot of the cute Chacos back in the day. They're awesome, but they are, if I am remembering correctly, Owen, it's just like a flat foam pad, right? Like they can't replace a supportive shoe, but as far as just easy slip-ons and stuff throughout the day, I think they're really awesome. So I guess if you're going to I don't know, I just had this vision of someone going to Thailand and bringing their Chacos because that seems like
Yeah.
the vibe. Oh my God, your feet are gonna hurt though. So
hmm
it's not a replacement though for these more supportive shoes.
Yeah, with the sandals, it's very easy to take a wrong turn and just end up in like an unsupportive pair of shoes. That's where going to like a specialty comfort store, like for example, Playmakers has all of these brands, and just talking to someone like, hey, my intention is to have a supportive sandal or a recovery sandal, whether it's with more cushioning or more arch support or even both. And I remember I would have a ton of customers come in and talk to me about that. And then they'd be like, oh, like this one's cute. And I'd just be like, super cute, but that one's getting away from your support and comfort that you were looking for. So either just like do some research, or if you can at all, I'm sure there's something near you, go to a specialty store and just get fitted. You can try all the brands on, probably. They might have all of them, and make the best choice. So maybe it goes without saying, but you would not need insoles for this group. They are kind of pretty comprehensive in their own right. And then also, I don't know how well the insoles would really work, although I have done experimenting and put insoles in sandals, and they are doable. I'll just say that. That's all we have for you guys. We just wanted to walk through some of the brands and types of shoes that our customers talk about, that we wear, and then give you some ideas of what types of insoles to put in them. The great news is if you listen to this podcast and you're like, hey, I have a pair of shoes that I might want to try some Orange Insoles in. I think it might be this style, but I don't know for sure. Feel confident in ordering that style, giving it a try. We understand that there are limitations in shopping online, so we will work with you to get you the right style if you don't have the right one or you picked out the wrong one, so to speak. So don't hesitate. Feel free to give us a try. We also have a insole finder on our website where you can answer a few quick questions, and it's going to give you a recommendation for the type of shoes and your situation. With that said, we appreciate it. Mallory, did you have any signing off notes for the audience here?
Nope, the guy with the leaf blower just started, so we gotta get out of here.
All right, perfect timing. Thanks so much for listening. We'll catch you on another episode of Orange Juice.